Hello everyone, welcome to day 2. This is Love Affairs International and this is day 2 of our 31 days relationship challenge. Today we are talking about one of the biggest killer in relationship and marriage. We're talking about poor communication. Listen to me guys, the truth be told, many relationships died not because there is no love, but because there was no understanding. And the breach of understanding is proper and clear communication. Let's talk about it. James chapter 1 verse 19 says, we should be slow to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. But what do we do? The reverse is the case. We are very fast in listening, we are very fast to speak, and we are very fast when it comes to being angry. You see, misunderstanding breeds frustration, resentment, and unending fights. Listen to me guys, if you should lack any skill in your relationship or marriage, it should not be communication skill, because lack of proper communication can ruin any promising marriage. It can rob you of bliss and pleasure, and it is true that many people are enduring marriage and relationship instead of enjoying it, and part of the problem is lack of proper communication, not lack of communication. You see, most people when they talk, they think they are communicating, they are not communicating, because oftentimes we just air the peace of our mind. We are not trying to make the person understand, but we are just ranting, and that is very bad in marriage and in courtship. Now let's talk about some of the signs of poor communication. We must be able to decode what poor communication is, and then we'll be able to tell what would be the solution. Number one sign of poor communication is silent treatment. Instead of discussing issues. You see, when lack of a better word, when we get fed up in quotes with issues or circumstances, we tend to go into our shell and give the silent treatment. We hope that our partner will be able to read our minds and tell that they have done something wrong and come and apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody have access to your mind except the all-knowing God, and He cannot intrude into your mind even as much as He knows. And so silent treatment is very bad in marriage or in relationship. In clear terms, let your partner know that this is what you think is not going right, and think of a way of amending the situation. Number two, assuming instead of asking. A story was one told of a couple. The man got angry and they went to see a counselor. And when they were speaking with the counselor, the annoyance was that, why is it that my wife is always giving me the top of the bread and I don't like it? I mean, the other slices are better off. Now, when he said that, the lady started crying, because from the culture she came from, it is the most important person in the family that eats the top of the bread. And so because she loves and respects her husband so much, she was always giving the husband the top of the bread. And so the husband was angry. You see, instead of getting angry, why don't you ask? Do not assume things. It is very risky to assume things in relationship and in marriage, and it's often said that assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. And so do not assume things in relationship. That is a clear sign of poor communication. Instead of assuming, ask. Next, attacking instead of addressing concerns. You see, in relationship, the reason why an anthill can become a mountain is because we attack, and in every attack there is always a defense. And so when you attack your husband, for the ladies, his ego will kick in. When you attack a woman who also have an ego but not as big as that of the man, she also will defend herself. And so instead of attacking, it is important for you to address the issue. Listen to me, if you want peace in your relationship or in your marriage, never attack. Never attack, always address issues. I've often told my wife and told people who are close to me that we should always separate people from circumstances and issues. Your husband is not the issue, your wife is not the issue. An issue came up, address the issue, not attacking your spouse. This is very important. And finally, listen. Now let's talk about actionable solutions to poor communication. Number one is active listening. Now don't listen to reply, listen to understand. Because James 1 verse 19 that we read, it said we should be slow to speak, slow to listen, slow to anger. So you listen to assimilate and understand in context, not to reply. Because most times when couples sit, they just listen. When they are done listening, say, I've heard what you're saying. But what I am saying is that you have not listened to understand. You have only listened to reply. And that is not good for relationship. Proverbs 18 verse 13 is a good guide when it comes to active listening. Number two, always use the I word instead of the you word. Instead of telling your partner you, always make me. Instead, use the word I always feel this way when this and this happens. Okay? Using the I word is better off. That way you are not attacking. Because if you use the you word, you are attacking already. For example, during your courtship, your husband always take you out. Now that you are married, your husband has not been taking you out as you desire. Instead of attacking to say, when we were courting, you will always take me out. Now that we are married, you don't take me out. That's an attack. What you get in response will be a defense. But when you use the I word, it will be, I miss those days that we go out. I enjoy those days. Or instead, I enjoy when we actually went to so and so place. It was so amazing. The memory of it. Now, you have sent a signal. You have communicated effectively. Instead of saying you have already communicated that you miss going out with your spouse. And that's a signal. Do you understand? Now, number three is pause before reacting. Proverbs 15 verse 1. You see, I have this rule of thumb that whenever you want to react to anything, give it 90 seconds. And if you give it 90 seconds, you just discover that your initial response will not be your best response. Have you ever had this scenario where someone messaged you and you are a bit upset with the message and you are typing and typing and typing and typing, you want to reply the person, but after you have typed for a while, you delete everything. Do you know what happened at that time? 90 seconds has elapsed. And so you came to your normal sense because you were momentarily out of your senses. Forgive me for saying that, but that's what it is. People call it 5 minutes madness. But when you give it 90 seconds, you readjust and say, okay, my response that I was intending is not the best response. And so you must always pause when there is a situation in your home or in your relationship. Listen to the pause and react appropriately. Do you understand? I often tell people that you can enjoy bliss in your courtship and also in your marriage. And that is to say, you will not have any reason to argue, you will not have any reason to quarrel. Proper communication is one of the secrets. As we round off in day 2, I'd like you to know something, that communication is not just about talking, it is about connection. Something amazing happened in my relationship, okay? I and my wife, we had to sit down at a time to discuss some issues in our relationship. And so when we sat down to discuss it, you see, something amazing that came out of it is that our bond increased, the connection increased, because we sat down to deal with issues, not to attack each other. You see, the reason why people argue